Sellers in San Jose are leaving $50,000 on the table, and most of them never know why. After 22 years in this business, I can usually tell within the first 10 minutes of meeting a homeowner whether their home is going to fly off the market or sit for weeks. And it has almost nothing to do with the home itself. Now, my name is Kip, and I'm going to tell you what most agents won't, because what you don't know is what costs you. Now, there are 4 mistakes I see sellers make over and over, which is overpricing, deferred maintenance, skipping staging, and there's one underneath all of it that most sellers never see coming. So stick with me, because that last one is where the real money gets lost. So let's start with the one that costs the most. Overpricing your home on purpose. Now, I get the logic. You want to start high, leave room to negotiate, and see what happens. And that sounds reasonable. But I'll tell you, it's one of the most expensive decisions a seller can make, because here's what most people miss. Buyers today are sharp, especially here in Silicon Valley, where a huge chunk of the buyer pool works in tech or engineering. Now, these are people who love data, who run spreadsheets for fun, who have been out there every weekend touring homes, comparing neighborhoods, and tracking what's actually selling and what isn't. They are not guessing at value, they know. And when a price feels off to them, they don't call to ask questions, they don't schedule a showing, and they probably won't even come to your open house. They just move on to the next one. And believe me, there's always a next one. Now, it might seem there aren't many homes for sale in your particular neighborhood, but believe me, those buyers are absolutely looking all over, including neighboring cities. So by the time your home is on the market for a week, you may have already lost a big chunk of your buyers. And the ones who do show up, if they think you're overpriced, they're watching that clock. Because right now in Santa Clara County, a correctly priced home goes under contract in just 12 days. That's 12 days. So that first week is everything. And if showings aren't coming in and the online views aren't spiking, the home is already sending a signal, and buyers are absolutely reading it. So when a home hits 3 or 4 weeks on the market here in Silicon Valley, something begins to shift. Buyers start wondering what's wrong with it. They see other homes moving and they know this one isn't. So they wait. And when the price finally drops, they want a discount on top of the price drop. Now, I had a seller in San Jose who wanted to come on about $75,000 above where the data said the home should land. So we listed at their number. 3 weeks later, price came down. The first offer we got after that, the buyer wanted another concession on top of the new price. We ended up netting less than we would have if we just priced it right from the start. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Kip, why did you let them do that? And that's fair. Here's the honest answer. It's your home. You have the right to set the price. And that's not me rolling over. That's me respecting that this is ultimately your call. But we didn't walk into that meeting without having the conversation. The data was on the table. We went through what had actually sold, how their home compared to everything else sitting on the market competing for the same buyers. So I gave my opinion clearly, and we set an expectation from day one. We will know from the activity in that first week how the market is responding. And we will be having another conversation about price based on exactly that activity. But some sellers, they just need to feel it for themselves. Maybe they talk to a relative who just got their real estate license in another state. Maybe they watch too much HGTV. Maybe they think agents just want a fast paycheck. And I get it, but my job is to give honest advice backed by real data and then respect that the decision is yours and yours alone. But I'll be real with you. I've lost potential clients over the years for being way too direct about price. And it doesn't mean I hold back, and I always try to deliver it in a way that people can actually hear it. But I say it. So if you ever sit down with an agent who agrees to your jacked up number without the data to back it up, run. You see, I could line up 100 agents and we're all looking at the same sales data. So an agent inflating a price to win a listing isn't protecting you, they're protecting themselves. Now, the second one, that's deferred maintenance. I'm talking about the stuff that's been on your to-do list for years. The exterior paint that's peeling off the fascia boards, it's gone in spots, it's cracked in others. The kind of thing that may not show in photos, but it really stands out in person. Or the faucet in the hallway that drips. The gate latch that hasn't worked since the last time you thought about fixing it. When a buyer sees those things, they don't price them accurately. They can't. They don't know what a painter charges or how long it takes, so they guess high. Something that costs a few $100s to fix all of a sudden becomes $4,000 in their head. And that's before they're rattled by a long inspection report. So fix it before you go on the market and remove the ammunition before the buyer ever picks it up. Sellers who handle the small stuff early control the narrative. The ones who leave it, they give buyers more reasons to say no to your home. Now the third one is staging, and I know some of you are already pushing back on this one. You need to understand that buyers are emotional. They use emotion to make the decision and logic to justify it after the fact. That's just how it works with people. A home that's warm, furnished, and well-styled triggers something the moment a buyer walks in. They can start to picture their life there. They feel it. A vacant home doesn't do that. It feels cold. It feels generic. Every room is a blank box, and buyers are doing math instead of falling in love. And on a $2 million home here in Silicon Valley, even a 1% lift from staging is real money. And a good stager solves a lot of problems the seller can't even see anymore. The room that doesn't quite read as a bedroom. The corner that feels awkward. The layout that's a little off. A great stager neutralizes all of that before a buyer can ever fixate on it. And sellers who've moved out think they're saving money by skipping it. They're almost always losing more than they save. Now, here's the one that ties all of this video together. Every mistake I just walked you through, the overpricing, the deferred maintenance, the skip staging, they all come from the exact same place. A seller that is emotionally attached to the home. And that makes complete sense. You raise your kids there, you know every corner of the place. But when a buyer walks through and says the kitchen feels a little dated or the floor plan is a little awkward, you don't hear that as feedback. You hear it as an attack on your memories. I always like to say it like this, and let me find the words here because I want this to land correctly. It's simply that some sellers talk about their home like it was built with golden nails and the dreams of their grandkids. They see every birthday party, every holiday, every kid who grew up inside those walls. Now, a buyer doesn't see any of that. A buyer sees their own potential future there, not your past. Now, I worked with a seller in Willow Glen who was convinced her home was worth significantly more than the data supported. Now, it was a nice home, but she'd been there a long time, and every upgrade she'd made 15 years ago felt like it had to come back to her dollar for dollar. And when buyers gave honest feedback, she wanted to fight every comment. Now, we got it sold, but it took longer than it should have, and the final number was lower than it needed to be. Now, the homeowners who do best selling their homes, they make one decision early. They treat the process like a business transaction. They actually go out and tour the competition. They hear feedback from agents without flinching. They take down the family photos, they tone down the paint, and they clear out the collections. Not because those things don't matter, but because buyers need a blank canvas to project their own life onto. And when a seller fights that process, they're not protecting their home. They're protecting their attachment to it and their memories. And it always costs them. So those are the four: overpricing, deferred maintenance, skipping the staging, and the emotional attachment underneath all of it. Every one of them is fixable. Every one of them is a choice. The sellers who understand that walk away with more money, fewer headaches, and a cleaner close. So if you're thinking about selling your home, I put together a free seller guide that walks you through exactly the correct process. The link is in the description. And if you want to talk through your situation, our contact info is below. No pitch, no pressure, just a straight conversation about what your home is worth and what it would take to get top dollar. I'll see you in the next one.